Hello, and welcome to High Score Labs series on Acquia Drupal 8. This is episode 1.10, using the Acquia Dev Desktop and setting up xDebug with Eclipse PDT for PHP and Drupal debugging. First, in Acquia Dev Desktop, you want to check your PHP version. Go to the menu, go to Settings and Config, and for your PHP version, you want to edit the file for the INI with all the settings for your PHP. Just do a search for xDebug, and there should be a line that is commented out, and it has a path. You want to make sure that path is correct to your DLL if you're on Windows, or your shared object if you're on Linux or Mac. Remove the semicolon to uncomment it, and then go to the bottom of the file and type in xdebug.remote enable equals 1. Go ahead and save the INI file, and that'll store the settings. You have to hit OK, and then you have to start or restart the stack. So once you go ahead and hit start, the stack will be reset. Go to your Drupal address for your local dev, and go to reports from the admin menu, and then status report. And you're going to want to see that click on PHP and more information to get the PHP info, then search for xDebug to make sure that the extension was enabled. Here you can see it was enabled. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the site. Now let's go ahead and open up Eclipse PDT. I have the most current version for this video. This is March 2020. And let it load. Once you're in, you're going to want to go ahead and open up your existing local code into a project for Eclipse PDT. So go ahead and open projects. Go ahead and hit the directory button to go find on your local environment. This is my Dev Desktop Drupal 8 code base, so I'm going to go ahead and choose that. It's going to go ahead and import it into the IDE. Just click Finish. And once you're in here, it'll load and do a little bit of code testing on it for you. But you can see that the code is here. We're going to go ahead and go to Run and create a run configuration. From the menu, hit Run and then Run configuration. We're going to want to create a PHP web application. So click on that, hit the new icon up in the menu, and we're going to go ahead and call this Acquia Dev Desktop. We're going to choose a server. Since mine's not in there yet, I'm going to hit New, and we're going to create Acquia Dev Desktop as the server, and go ahead and change the URL to the one that goes to your local installation. Port 8083. Go ahead and choose the document root, which is the code base, in the Dev Desktop Sites folder. Go ahead and hit Next. Choose xDebug as your debugger. Port 9000 is the default. Make sure it's enabled. Hit Finish. Now from here, you have to browse to excuse me, to your index.php file inside of your code base. You want to uncheck auto generate because it messes it up for the it actually adds Drupal 8 to the path. We don't want that. Just remove that. Leave it just like that with index.php. No auto generate. Go ahead and hit Run, and it should load inside of the IDE browser if that's the default for PDT if you set it to load in the local browser. So there you can see it loaded. So we know that it's working. So that's good. Now we can actually try the debugger, which is the same thing. It's just different. You can go to debug configuration if you, to choose it, but see, there's nothing in that, so that's why it's not loading. I clicked on debug. It's trying to use an old value that's not there, but so you can go into the debug configuration or just hit debug on the menu since there's no debug as profile yet because I haven't done it. But if you go into this, you'll see that it's the same settings. Just click debug. I already have it running. Okay, let me go ahead and close that. All right, now we'll try it again. Just go to Run and then go to either debug or debug configurations and then click the debug button. It'll tell you to switch perspectives. Go ahead and hit yes. And now it takes you into the first line of code and it stops, which that's a setting you can turn off inside of the preferences, but right now it's enabled by default. So you can see that it is now debugging the code. And you can go ahead and control it just like you would any other debugger. You can step in, step out, step over, and continue. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to go back to the main code. You can do it from the debugger, but I'm just going to show you I'm going back to the main code base, and I'm going to set a breakpoint right here at the kernel line, so you can just see how it goes, and then click debug. It'll take you to the debug perspective again. It takes you to the first line of stops. You can just go ahead and hit continue or resume, and it'll take you to the breakpoint. And now you can see we are at the breakpoint, and you can see in the stack variables over here, you got cookie and environment variables and all this stuff. It is actually at the breakpoint. You can inspect all the memory and all the values of the variables on the stack. So we're gonna go ahead and create a sample variable just to show you that you can also modify it while it's on the breakpoint. You can examine it and modify it. So we're going to create two variables. One is integer, one is a string. We're going to go ahead and set a breakpoint. Well, we'll go ahead and go into the debugger, and then we can set the breakpoint. But so again, it shows you the stack. My session is turned off right now, so I'm going to reset it. And let me go ahead and terminate this debug session, and I'm going to go ahead and set the breakpoint on the string value, so we can inspect and examine the integer value above it. So I'll terminate this session, go ahead and restart it, and I'll resume. It should take us to the kernel breakpoint, resume again, it'll take us to the string breakpoint, and now you can actually see the value 5 inside of, you can examine the variable I with a value of 5, and we can go ahead and change it. I'm just going to change it to 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Alright, now you can see it actually changed it in code. So it lets you play with the variables just like any other debug session. So pretty cool. It lets you work more efficiently without using the old school echo and var dump and print statements everywhere to try to figure out what's going wrong with your code. So this is how you set up a xDebug and Eclipse PDT. Hope you enjoyed the video. Here at High Score Labs, we have many years experience working with Drupal and PHP and LAMP stacks. This is using the Acquia Dev Desktop for our local development environment. If you have any questions, just go ahead and put it into the comments on YouTube or send us an email. If you have any need for Drupal solutions or LAMP solutions in general, or if you have questions or want to use the Acquia products or services and have questions about that, go ahead and reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to help. Thank you for watching this video. We have more coming. Stay tuned.